Good evening. This is the post-game press conference for the FIBA Women's Asia Cup 2023 qualification game between Australia and Korea. Australia defeated Korea 91-64. Korea coach Sun Min-jung and player Ji-yoon Park have joined us. This press conference will be conducted in English. We also have translation. So, coach, a comment about the game.
지금 한국 여자농구가 올림픽 최종 예선전에 티켓을 획득하지 못한 대회가 아마 이번이 진짜 거의 뭐 처음이다시피 할 것 같은데, 감독으로서 어쨌든 대표팀을 맡고 운영하는 데 있어서 제가 많이 부족해서 이런 결과가 난 것 같고, 그런 부분에 있어서는 한국에 있는 모든 여자농구를 사랑해 주시는 팬분들에게 굉장히 죄송한 마음이 들고, 어쨌든 사실 선수들은 어쨌든 코트에서 최선을 다했고 열심히 뛰었지만 이런 결과가 나와서 좀 아쉽기는 하지만, 앞으로 한국 여자농구가 세계 국제 무대에서 어떻게 해야 살아남을 수 있는지를 좀 더 배우게 되는, 좀 많은 숙제를 안고 가는 대회임은 분명한 것 같고, 앞으로 좀 더 심혈을 기울여서 한국 여자농구 선수들이 국제 무대에서 좀 더 성장할 수 있는 좀 뭔가 계기가 좀 필요하다라는 생각을 하게 되는 경기였습니다.
I think it is almost the first time that we didn't qualify to the Olympic qualifying tournament. And as a head coach, I'm running the team. I think it is my fault that doesn't make the result well. And I'm very sorry about the result that we have, and to the Korean fans as well. Anyway, our players did their best on the court. It's a good opportunity to learn how we can compete in the international stage, and we also need some improved points. So I think it's a good competition for us to grow in the international stage. But I have a lot of work to do to keep moving forward.
And do you want to comment, please?
우선 오늘 경기가 최종 예선에 갈 수 있는 마지막 기회라고도 생각을 했고, 사실 저희가 예선전에서 뉴질랜드한테 지면서 확률이 조금 많이 떨어진 건 맞지만, 아직 그래도 마지막 기회가 있었고 조금이나마의 확률이 남아 있었기 때문에 선수들은 그 조그마한 확률이 남아 있는 거에 대해서도 끝까지 최선을 다해야 되는 입장이고, 그 기회를 잡아야 됐었는데 오늘 그 기회를 잘 잡지 못해서 너무 아쉬운 부분이 크고, 또 일단 경기 결과가 중요했던 경기다 보니까 패배한 거에 대해서는 조금 많이 속상하기도 하고 아쉽기도 한 그런 경기였던 것 같고, 또 그래도 아직 끝난 건 아니니까 끝까지 남은 경기 부상 없이 선수들끼리 다시 얘기해서 다음 경기 잘 마무리해야 될 것 같습니다.
It's a last shot to make it to the Olympic qualifying tournaments, and as you all know, in the group phase we have defeated to the New Zealand. So that's why we have games against Australia today. But we still believe that we have a little chance to make it. So as a player, if there is a little chance, I need to do my best, and all of our players as well. But eventually we didn't make it. It's all about the result for this game. But yeah, I feel a little depressed. But I have a game still to play. So yeah, we want to wrap this competition satisfyingly tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll open to questions.
I'd just like to ask the coach, her main centre didn't play any of the second half. Was she injured at all?
박지 선수가 이제 후반전에 안 뛰었는데 어떤 특별한 이유가 있었는지.
사실 박지수 선수가 거의 지난 한국 리그를 아예 1년을 거의 쉬다시피 해서, 사실 컨디션이 이번 대회를 준비하면서 그렇게 좋지 않음에도 이번 대회를 준비를 했고, 그러다 보니까 체력적인 부분도 컸고, 그 체력이 받침이 되지 않는 상황에서 뭔가 해보려고 하다가 부상의 위험이 너무 많이 나올 수밖에 없는 지금 오늘 경기를 보여줘서 제가 좀 걱정이 돼서 아예 후반에는 기용을 하지 않았습니다.
She didn't play in last year in the league, so that makes her not in a good shape for coming into this competition. So I feel like she's running out of energy when she played in the first half. So I think it is better to let her not playing in the second half. Yeah.
Okay, but she will play tomorrow.
Yeah. Needed.
Yeah, needed.
Again to the coach, do you feel the loss to New Zealand is what cost you as much as anything tonight, because it meant that you would have a harder path to the semi-finals?
이제 뉴질랜드전 패배가 이제 저희가 대회를 이렇게 운영하는 데 있어서 좀 어렵게 된 그런 요인이라고 생각하시는지?
사실 뉴질랜드 첫 경기가 뉴질랜드전을 이겼더라면 저희가 어쨌든 좀 더 4강 안에 들 수 있는 확실한 어떤 퍼센테이지를 가져갈 수 있었지만 뉴질랜드전을 지면서 레바논을 이기더라도 또 중국을 이겨야 되는 부분도 있었고 하여튼 굉장히 산 넘어 산 같은 어떤 벽들이 많았기 때문에 그 선수들의 어떤 여러 가지 체력적인 부분, 컨디션이라는 부분, 이런 부분들이 중국전에 너무 혼신의 힘을 쏟아내는 바람에 오늘 경기에서도 좀 많이 선수들이 좀 지쳐서 경기를 꼭 또 마음으로는 꼭 이겨야겠다라는 좀 욕심들이 좀 있었던 것 같고 그런 부분들이 오늘은 경기를 좀 더 어렵게 하지 않았나 그런 생각을 합니다.
Yeah, we prepared the New Zealand as the most important game coming into this competition. And if we make it on the first game, it will have a high chance to make it to the semi-final. But yeah, even if we beat Lebanon, we have to still beat China to be in the second place in the group A. So as you all know, we have a very tough game with China. So lots of players are running out of their energy after the game. So it is very difficult to have a good game tonight. Everyone wants to play well today, but yeah, that cost us not good game today. Yeah.
And one last one to the players, please,
Okay.
if I can. Obviously, they played very, very well against China, forced them to overtime. How does she see the match? How much energy did that take out of the team, even with the rest day? And how does she think China will go against Australia?
이제 중국전에 저희가 연장전까지 가면서 굉장히 힘든 경기를 했었는데 오늘 이제 그런 어제 저희가 쉬긴 했지만 그런 것들이 이제 좀 여파가 오늘 있었는지 하고 이제 중국이랑 이제 호주랑 4강에서 어떻게 되는데 그거에 대한 좀 예상이나 이런 것들도 중국이랑 호주랑 이제 4강에서 할 텐데 그거에 대한 것도 같이.
일단 저희 먼저 말씀드리자면 확실히 중국전에서 저희가 많은 힘을 쏟은 건 사실이기 때문에 오늘 경기에서 좀 체력적인 부분에서 좀 힘들었던 거는 사실이고 또 하지만 상대방도 똑같다고 생각을 해요. 그래서 호주도 뭐 경기를 그 전에 안 한 것도 아니고 일본이라는 강팀이랑 충분히 경기를 했기 때문에 똑같은 자리에서 동등하게 경기를 펼쳤다고 생각을 하고 또 뭐 제가 평가를 하기엔 좀 그렇지만 그래도 뭐 4강에 갔을 때 워낙 플레이 스타일이 다른 팀이다 보니까 그냥 위에서도 호주랑 중국이 어느 팀이 에너지가 더 강하냐 또 어느 팀이 더 이제 올라갈 그런 힘이나 간절함이 더 승리의 요인이 되지 않을까 생각을 합니다.
Definitely we use all our energy against China, so that makes us difficult today. But I still think that Australia also have a game against Japan on the same day, so I think it is an equal condition. And for the semi-final, I think both teams have very different play style, so I guess it's all about who wants to win, desperation, and who will show much more energy on the court, that will decide the winner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Korea. That concludes the first part of the press conference. We'll be back with Australia shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the second part of this post-game press conference. We now have with us Australian coach Shannon Seebohm and captain Tess Madgen. Shannon, a comment about the game?
Again, it was a very physical hit out. And obviously given the stakes, we're really relieved to be able to get through that one and play as well as we did. I thought it's probably the best game we've played so far as a team, to be honest with you. I thought both sides of the ball, we shared the ball really well. We started the game exceptionally well. I thought we had the right level of intensity and made it very hard for them to get, consistent good shots. And again, I think just building nicely after we obviously got taught a lesson the other night by Japan. So I think we're on the right track and really looking forward to the rest of this tournament.
And a comment, Tess?
Yeah, I'm just super proud of the team. We weren't happy with how we played against Japan, especially on the defensive end. And, when they went on that run, we just really stumbled. And I think that was a good lesson to learn. Tonight they went on runs. It didn't faze us. We were just so focused, stayed in the moment completely. And so I couldn't be more proud.
And we'll open to questions.
Okay. Shannon, you had 48 rebounds to 23, and steals you had 18 to 9. After reviewing the game on the rest day, what was the key changes that led to this turn around in this game?
Yeah, look, I think, we knew today the possession game was huge. We talked about the rebounding before the game. And just honestly, I think the steals came as a result of our defensive disruption. We talked a lot today. We obviously made a starting lineup change, which I think allowed us to have a cleaner rotation. And it put players probably back in positions that they're most comfortable in. And I think Shyla and Maddie Rocci, Tess, Lauren Nicholson, Alice, all the guards, wings, etc., did a great job of building pressure at the very start of the game. We made everything tough. Probably after the first two possessions anyway, I think we really adjusted and got our ball pressure right, lane pressure, and forced them into some, unforced errors, turnovers, that sort of thing, and really stifled their ability to get good shots.
Sure. Thank you. Tess, in this game, it got quite physical at certain moments, and it looked like everyone could have lost their composure. What was your key message as a captain to keep everyone in line with staying focused and getting it done?
Yeah, I think mainly, I was just saying, 3 stops in a row all the time, to really try and focus on that defensive end and get our minds locked in there. And then we rebounded really well. And then we're able to, get out and run. We didn't have to take the ball through the net every single every single offense we started like we did against Japan, and that was a lot more free-flowing. That's how we want to play. That's typical Opal style basketball. So super tough down the defensive end. Definitely, let us flow. And just touching on your question that you asked Shannon before, he didn't have to change a lot. We just had to do it a lot better. I think the game plan against Japan was good, but we just didn't execute it with enough toughness, enough assertiveness. We watched video, we could see that, and we just had to do what they gave us a lot better, which is why, the win feels so good tonight.
Sure. Thank you.
Shannon, I thought Lauren Scherf, particularly early on, was great, particularly against Jisoo Park. Park didn't play in the second half, and we asked the coach, and she said it was more of a conditioning issue rather than an injury, because she hasn't played a huge amount of minutes, but Lauren really seemed to dominate that match up there. How big was that for you?
Enormous, and I think... we played a practice game against China, and she did the same thing against Hangzhou. Lauren's been great. Obviously, in this tournament, we didn't play her a lot in the second half because they didn't play her, and they downsized and went small, so we went like that to match their quickness and those types of things. But, Lauren Scherf's been fantastic, to be honest. She's been great to coach. She's very, she listens to the feedback you give her, tries to apply it, and she's going to be a very important player for us tomorrow against China. So, I think she'll probably see some extended minutes tomorrow, and I just hope she keeps playing with the same force and aggression that she's shown us so far.
And talk of China, obviously, I guess you would have seen bits and pieces of them throughout the tournament, and you've had prior knowledge of them anyway, but what are the keys to performing well and trying to beat them tomorrow? Yeah,
look, they're a world-class outfit. They're very well coached. I think... I think in some ways it's going to be a fun game because they play quite similar to us. They're quite similar in size, obviously, except for Han's quite tall. But I think we played them in a practice game, and that probably gave us some ideas of what we need to do in order to win this game. I'm not going to say what they are, but I think we've got a pretty good blueprint in terms of what we're going to need to do.
And Tess, Shannon was talking about the pressure going into this game, and if you'd lost this game, was that basically the end of the Olympic qualification pathway for you guys?
Yes. So yes, the pressure was quite enormous. But we had a players' meeting yesterday to fix some, sticking to the game plan, playing tough, getting back to Opal's brand basketball. What we put out against Japan wasn't. Shannon's been preaching ever since we came into camp to play discipline, and that's not what we did. And when you're winning by 70 points, 40 points, everyone's feeling really great about themselves, but we really had to get back to playing disciplined style of basketball if we want to go any further in this tournament. So and obviously fix the defensive end, which is what we did perfectly tonight. But yes, I was definitely feeling the pressure. I went out for coffee with Keely and Darcy, and Keely was making me laugh, and I felt so much better after that. So thank you, Keely Froling.
And last one for me. They made a little bit of a run just after half time there, but you picked up the slack offensively there, hit some buckets as well. Did you feel more responsibility to try and make sure that the team got back on track and didn't allow them a foothold in the game? Yeah,
definitely. I think, the way I play, especially for the Opals, is very team-orientated style. I like to make sure, especially as a captain, I want to do everything that the coaches are telling us to do and be a very good example for that, especially at the offensive end. So, and the defensive end, but get the ball through hands, get the right shots that we want every offense. And I was passing up a few looks in the first half. Sherfie was killing it, so I just kind of wanted to keep feeding her. That was definitely going into the game. Looking back at the Japan game, we should have passed the ball in the post more. So that was on my mind. And then in half time, I was like, "You're open, let's go." So. Obviously, they made some adjustments, wanted to shut down Sherf, and that meant my driving opportunities were even more open. We also have really elite shooters on the perimeter, so the floor was stretched, and I could just see some lanes and took advantage of that.
Shannon, have you had much of any contact at all with Sandy during the week?
Yeah, she's been messaging me a lot. Obviously, she messaged me a bit yesterday and that sort of thing. I think everyone was feeling very nervous. It's a fact. It's in the media. It's all that stuff. I think everyone was a bit nervous going into today, what was going to happen. And Sandy's been a great support. And she's just kept telling me to follow my gut, trust myself. Coach the way that I know how to coach, and don't try and do what she does or whatever. And that's been a great support. I think just that reminder to back myself and know that I'm hopefully a good coach and I'm the right person to do this, and everything's been really good. So she actually just sent me a text I saw as I walked in. I haven't read it yet, so I'm sure it says good job. It'll
say a bit more than that.
But yeah, no, she's been an awesome support, and I'm very thankful that she trusts me enough to do this.
We know you're a good coach, so don't
Thank you.
Okay, Shannon, before the game today, I saw the coaching staff sitting up in the stands. You guys seemed much more relaxed today than you did yesterday at the event. What? How did you guys just sort of get yourselves reset?
Look, I mean, you kind of have to. I'm very my wife actually brings me back down to the ground really well. And I get yesterday I was definitely feeling it. We got embarrassed against Japan, and it's human nature to start questioning certain things that you do and doubting yourself and whatever else. And my wife always has some very very wise words, if I just call them that, wise words for me, and she kind of told me to wake up and stop. And then I've had great support as well. My 3 assistant coaches have been awesome, and they're working their tail off every day to help with the scouting and all those things. And we just felt, I felt today at shoot around, I could feel it. We were well prepared. The girls were switched on. So we had, we obviously knew it was going to be tough, and you never know what's going to happen, but we felt confident. So, I think, that obviously helped me relax. And then I obviously try and stay very calm for the players as well, because I think they feed off the coach sometimes, and if I'm stressed and tense and anxious, then they're probably going to be the same, and then we've got no chance. So, you kind of have to put yourself in that place to get the best out of the team as well.
And Tess, in the Japan game, it seemed that at different moments the team wasn't quite gelling together, just a little bit out of sync. How did you guys get yourselves to re-gel for this game?
Yeah, we had a day off yesterday, which was lovely of the coaches, especially after we put out such a poor performance. But everyone, went out, saw their family. I think that was good for the, for the soul. And then we came back at 4:30, ready to work. So we had a players' meeting. We got some past opals, which we're so lucky to have on our staff. They came in and, just really said what it is to be an opal, and a good wake-up call for everyone. I think it's so much bigger than yourself. Which is not like anyone was being selfish or anything, but just a good wake-up call that this is bigger than yourself. We need to, be bringing a lot more energy, especially on that defensive end, to get back to our roots. And then after that, we had the video with Shannon and the coaching staff, so we could see it. Exactly what we had all just talked about was on the video. And that was awesome. I think a great reset. We went out for a team dinner last night as well, so we got off. It was just, we were so well prepared, and then we came in this morning, like Shannon said, it was the best shoot-around that we'd had. Everyone was super locked in. There was no messing around. We're here to do business, and I think that's how we need to be for the rest of the tournament going forward. We came here, obviously, to qualify, but we also think we're the best team here, and when all 12 players are contributing, whether they play 1 second or 40 minutes, they all need to be contributing, supporting their teammates, and living by our values.
And one last one. This team is down in strength in comparison to previous Opals teams because a lot of players are over in the WNBA and couldn't come back. How have you found that the younger players, the rookies coming into the team, have stepped up to perform to be able to fill in those gaps?
Yeah, it's been great, and I think it speaks volumes of the depth of Australian women's basketball, that we've got enough players behind our, I guess the mainstays of the team to step in and help us at a tournament like this against, what is there, like 3 teams here that are top 5 in the world or something. Yeah. So, it's pretty incredible, and it's been great, and all of those young players are super coachable. And I've seen improvement from each of them. I think every game that we've played, particularly like Shyla Hill, Maddie Rochi, I think I've seen a lot of improvement out of those two. They're buying into their roles extremely well, and both of them were massive contributors today at different points of the game. And as Tess said, came in and did what we need them to do when they play for the Opals. So it's been it's been great. I'm really enjoying it, apart from the stress the last 24 hours. But I'm thrilled for those kids, and I think everyone in the roster is doing exactly what we need them to do.
Well,
yeah. Can I just ask one more? Obviously the staying in the qualification pathway was the first major task you had. Now you've got, I guess, traditionally the 2 other giants of Asian basketball, China and Japan, with all due respect to the tall ferns, because they're still a factor. But what would it mean to try and knock both of those teams off back to back?
Oh, it'd be enormous, and I think given the strength of their rosters as well and the players they've actually brought to this tournament and things, it would be it would be huge. And I think, the great thing is, as I said, we've played China already a week ago, so we have a good feel. We know how tough that's going to be, and they're going to be extremely well prepared. They've got a fantastic coaching staff as well as some very experienced and high-level players, and it's going to be a great battle. But yeah, we back ourselves against any of these teams. We know Japan gave it to us the other night, but I think if we adjust a few things and as Tess said, play with a bit more discipline, I think we're capable of beating both. But we're going to focus on China and get through. If we get through that one, then we'll look at the next game as well. But it's one game at a time from here on out, and very excited to still be in play.
Well, thank you, Shannon. Thanks, Tess. That
Thanks,
concludes
guys.
the post-match press conference.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.